And good evening, everybody. Happy Friday night. Happy to be on board and with you. Kind of double checking, making sure that I'm actually streaming here. There we go. Uh, had to made a couple quick changes at the end there and wanted to make sure it was actually streaming. So, lots of news coming out the last few days. Disney announced big changes to Lightning Lane and Genie Plus and how it's going to work. There was an incident at Kings Island that I want to talk a little bit about. A few other things that are going on as well. So we've got a number of different things to cover, lots of news, several other things that are happening. So looking forward to tonight. I hope you're ready to roll because we got a lot to do and not a whole lot of time to do it. It's kind of like the old Smokey and the Bandit song. Eastbound down, loaded up and... So I am excited for tonight. So much going on. It's kind of nice to have a Friday. Poor Craig. I went had to throw the singing out there right at the beginning just to kill. But so I will be trying to pop the glasses on and off so I can see actually what everybody's saying. Because otherwise, right now it's a blur between the light and yeah. Any case, I am doing well. Had a wonderful week of rest and retreat. Basically, went out to a cabin that was on the third floor of a place right by the lake. So I'd walk out the front door, sit on the deck, and there's a lake right out there. And I basically sat there for 6 days and did nothing. It was absolutely amazing. Several days were really just kind of sleeping and resting and recovering. And so that was really nice. Did a little bit of brainstorming, didn't come home with quite as many videos as I thought, as I have in the past with them, but did get a chance to do a little bit of brainstorming. Shot a couple videos for Burning Busch. In fact, there's one that may have just gone live or is in the process of uploading. I haven't checked it. So if you're interested in the preaching bit, there is a video going up about the 10 Commandments law down in Louisiana and my personal thoughts on that. But I won't get into that here because this is a political free zone. I'm just letting you know that it is over there. But since we are talking about news, there's been a couple big things that have come out of the parks. Let me talk about Kings Island first. So, hey, Scoops, how you doing? So, if those of you don't know, I do play a game called Star Trek Fleet Command, which is a multiplayer online deal and part of a fun group of people on there. Scoobs is actually one of my alliance members. So, hey, didn't expect you to drop in, but we got a big cross-server combat thing going on today. And so I kind of let people know, sorry, you can't fight right now. I got to go do my stream. But it's kind of fun. I think I got a couple people that came over. So anyways, news out of Kings Island. There was a gentleman. Let's see if I can get the age right here. In his 38-year-old man. So been around a little bit. Apparently was on the Banshee roller coaster, which is a suspended coaster. Track is on top, and then the people are kind of sitting, down below. And so if you've ever seen a Batman the Ride, that's basically what it is. And he dropped his keys on the ride. Okay, that happens. Went to the ride attendant and said, hey, drop my keys, need to get my keys back. And they told him, sorry, it's in the ride area. Going to be closing in a couple hours, so we can try and go look for it there. That wasn't good enough. He needed them now. So, and so unfortunately, and hey, Bree, happy to hear you are safe. My goodness, Minnesota's been getting a lot of rain. Yeah, crazy. Stuff like what we get here in Branson. But anyways, he decided to take things into his own hand, walked out, saw apparently where his keys were, climbed an 8-foot fence with signs on it that said, do not enter, safety zone, highly dangerous, climbed the fence, went to go get his keys, got hit, and passed away a couple days later. Those fences are there for a reason. Weird fly. um, and unfortunately, this isn't the first time that this guy has run into something. I guess like 10 years ago, he got into a huge fight at some other amusement park or something. But it's kind of like you hear me harp about safety a lot. And, these things are dangerous. You get hit by a coaster, you are going to be seriously injured or killed. And it's just one of those deals that you're just kind of like, you want to say, what was he thinking? But the obvious answer is he wasn't thinking. Um, and what was the roller coaster accident? It was at Kings Island. It was on the Banshee roller coaster. Um, it's sad for his family. It's sad for the ride ops. Um, can you imagine working the ride and that happens? And then for the people that were on the coaster, I mean, it's at night. The reports were that they couldn't see what they hit, but they knew they saw something and hit something. Just sad all the way around over something stupid. There's really not any other way to put it. Albeit signs, goodness, they're there for a reason. Uh, I did this video this week about safety in the parks, and unfortunately, almost every accident, this is the result of somebody doing something dumb. So, yeah. Remember a video about an identical accident, one of Six Flags Fireman's coasters? Yep, except that one was for a hat. And there's been two other times, same type of roller coaster, and I think both of the previous times were hats. Yeah, just it's just hard. It's hard. It's one of those things that you want to kind of yell at the guy. Are you that stupid? Look. But then you also grieve because it's just so sad. So sad. So in other words, when you go to a park, if you drop something on a ride, tell the ride ops, and then you're going to have to wait and hope that it's not broken. That's why you don't take phones, you don't take keys, you don't take stuff like that that could fall out. Don't take it. Leave it with somebody who's not riding. Put it in a locker, something like that. That is what they are there for. Yeah. Yeah, two real geeks. So also the kid that jumped into the water, the Jurassic Park, Velocicoaster. Yep. Guys, you can live without a hat. Mm-hmm. You really can. Yeah, that was probably the saddest news. So, and then, yeah, Craig, did Princess Willow ever get her hat back from Ride Playland? So my daughter, we went on the Dragon Coaster. She was wearing a knit pink with sparkles on it hat. Forgot she had it on. It flew off. It actually landed on one of the roofs of the buildings around the ride. No, she never did get it back. We went in. She put in lots of fan requests, asked for it to be mailed back. They never did send it back. She loved the hat. It was one of her favorites, but you can live without a hat. So, yeah, a hat or keys or other stuff is not worth serious injury or death. So, good evening, Mark. Good to have you. Yeah, horrible accident that could have been totally prevented if someone followed the rules. Not going. Absolutely. Where's the hat now? I have no idea. Last we saw this hat of Amber's, it was sitting on top of the building, one of the side buildings alongside the roller coaster. Never knew, haven't heard back from them at all, and it's been a year now. So they probably found it, and rather than lost and found, mail it, they just threw it away, would be my guess. So, okay, now this is really cute or neat. Used to manage the haunted house that was there, got married in that park. Okay, that is really cool. That is really cool. And the Dragon Coaster, yes. Dragon Coaster was the best part of Ride Playland. Love Dragon Coaster. There were a couple other things that were fun, but it was an interesting stop. That was that's a good way to put it. Ride Playland was an interesting stop. It was the week after we were there that they had the one ride get stuck in on mode and just kept going. They couldn't turn it off. So, and Gaming with James, yes, this is why you remove your hats, before you get on, and she completely forgot it. So, yep, she forgot. It flew. Bye bye hat. Oh well. Um, then also big news out of Disney, and I kind of have mixed feelings on this. They are changing Genie Plus. So Genie Plus, the name is going away because apparently they found out it was confusing to have Genie Plus and Lightning Lane, which you have. I don't know. So they're calling everything now Lightning Lane. But that's not really the big change. There's a couple different versions of Lightning Lane. Oh, yeah, okay. I do have to mention this. Greg, the best part was hearing them play Whip It while we were in front of the whip. And we had called our trip that year the Whip It Tour because we were riding all these whip rides. That was awesome. Yes, that was a great moment. Jay-Z, is this the park that I'm thinking of? It's a National Historical Landmark. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So I'll come back to Disney in a second. Ride Playland, you still have a lot of the classic Art Deco look there. It's a beautiful park. It really is. You know what? Here, let me go back. Let me grab the link to this so that way you all can see our ride video or our park video. I actually do have a full clip of the old mill on there, which you can find if you search the channel. But I'm going to drop into chat. And if you're watching this on the replay later, hopefully you can see it. Otherwise, search on my channel for Ride Playland. But the chat will actually have the link to the Ride Playland video, and you can see our visit and our experiences and our thoughts and our Whip It. That is in there. So anyways, Disney's making changes to Lightning Lane. They're now calling everything Lightning Lane. They're still letting you book your rides in advance. They're still going to have to pay for certain rides. But they are bringing in a new factor. Essentially, they are resurrecting part of FastPass Plus. They're now going to allow you to start booking certain rides up to a week ahead of time if you're staying on property, or 3 days ahead of time if you are not. And if you're staying on property, let's say you have a 2-week vacation planned, 7 days before your first day, you can book all of your Lightning Lanes for your whole entire trip. So you could technically be booking 3 weeks in advance for it. And then they've actually have it broken up into tiers. So I want to make sure I get these tiers right. So without buying Lightning Lane, you will now be able to see what's available, which is something that you couldn't do before. But then they've got tiers where Magic Kingdom. So you're going to have 2 different tiers. Most parks. You can book 1 top tier and then 2 or 3 lower tiers. So it's either 1 and 2 or it's 3. So the top tier rides at Magic Kingdom are Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, Space Mountain, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Things like Tron Light Cycle Run and Seven Dwarfs are still going to be the separate charge as opposed to being part of the lower price version. So if you want to go Lightning Lane for Tron, you're going to have to pay for it separately from the other one. Top tier at Epcot is going to be Frozen Ever After, Ratatouille, and Soarin' Around the World. At Hollywood Studios, it's Runaway Railway, Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Slinky Dog Dash. And then Animal Kingdom, there's no tiers at all because there's not that many rides. And then for Disneyland, I believe they're changing the name at the very least. And I'm not sure if they're doing the book in advance or not. I think so. Let me see here. At the very least, it's Disney World. I'm trying to see if they actually say if it's Disneyland as well or not. It looks like just Disney World. Okay. So Disneyland is still going to be about the same. But it means that once again, you're going to be able to book in advance. And here Craig mentions a couple of the deals like the booking aspect, but the tier restrictions and multi-use, keeping the single uses separately priced isn't a big deal. So here's what's going to happen. Yeah, Disneyland's only a name change. That's what I'm looking now. So we're once again going back to you have to book your rides in advance. Hope that they don't totally book out again, because that was one of the huge problems with FastPass Plus is, okay, I want to book a FastPass for Soarin'. Well, gee, the first day that they're available, they're gone if you're not on at 6 in the morning clicking that button like mad and hoping that you manage to get a lucky click in. Uh, so we're kind of going back to that again, which means, oh, guess what? You weren't on early enough. You didn't get lucky enough to get one of those. Too bad you're not getting a lightning lane for that ride. I don't like that at all. And maybe they'll split it up where they only allow so many to be booked in advance, but then you're kind of stuck hoping you can get one when you get to the park. I like my day spontaneous. I also don't like how, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I don't like how it affects the standby lines and the booking in advance thing. Some people loved it, like Craig. I don't, because I don't like what it does to your planning. And if you don't have that, you're stuck. I like being spontaneous. Hey, these rides are available. I do kind of like how the current system works, that you can see the different rides. Which one do we want to go to? Is it close? Is it far? Does it work? Okay, let's pick one of several. Um, Having to do it way in advance to try to hopefully get the most popular rides. And you cannot book any others. You can book 3 ahead of time, and then you can't get any others until you've used at least one of them. Which means if your plans change or you want to be spontaneous, yeah, it's going to really make that hard. I did not like FastPass Plus at all. Did not like it. If you ever want to know how I feel about FastPass and the way it affects lines and stuff, Defunct Lane has an amazing documentary about FastPass. It's a little bit on the long side because they get into detail and analyze it. Go watch it. I know there's some people that love the old FastPass systems. Go watch Defunct Land's deal on it. See if you feel the same afterwards. Yeah. Let's see. So you're allowed to book lightning lanes in the park. How often are you able to get lightning lanes for other rides in the same park? So again, you can book 3 in advance, and then when you use one, you can book another one, assuming that they're available and assuming that there's time. So that's kind of what they're doing. Let's see here. So I'm kind of trying to go back here. Never understand why Walt Disney World people want to plan their rides days, weeks ahead of time. Some people really do like to plan it out ahead of time, which I do understand. There are people that like knowing what they're doing and where they're going, and I just don't like the way it affects the rest of the park. That's just me. Let me see here. Let's see here. I said that they just bring in a pay one price for all day like the other parks do. Six Flags, Universal. Honestly, right now of the skip the line versions, I like Universal's the best. I think Universal system works wonderfully. Cedar Fairs isn't too bad, honestly. With those, you pay one price. It's a little bit of a steep price, but then you get either one ride or unlimited rides where you basically get to bypass the line, depending upon which version you buy. It works wonderfully. It does not, because the numbers are limited, it does not impact the standby line as much. I really like how those work. And again, because the prices are up there, you don't have as many people doing it, so the standby lines keep moving. I really do like those systems. But do I think Tron and Guardians will ever go to standard lines? Oh, yeah, 10, 15, 20 years down the road when they're not as popular and there's other rides they put in there. So, oh, yeah. So let's see. See people upset all the time after buying Lightning Lane and still have to pay for rides and radiator. Yeah, and a lot of times that's because they haven't informed themselves of the way the system works. But, yeah, it can add up. Honestly, for the most popular rides, like Radiator and like Rise, honestly, the extra charge doesn't bother me if it helps alleviate the standby line. I don't mind that. And I don't even mind, okay, wait till you get to the park before you book it. It's the booking thing in advance. So, Craig, I like Genie Plus letting you book the first Lightning Lane at 7 and then walking the time back to ones I like a little more at. So one of the things that Genie Plus does currently is if you're going to be at the park that day, and you're a pass holder or staying at the Disney resort, at 7 a.m., you could book your very first Lightning Lane. And so hop on, wake up, book it, and then come to the park a couple hours later. Uh, I actually, hey, it's the day of. That's okay with me. And then if you decided, hey, I booked this thing at 10, I don't want to be there quite that early, you could actually go in and you could adjust and change the time you're going to go. It would show you what other options were and you could bump it around. I don't know if the new system is going to still let you do that, but there are so many rides in the parks that you can get through the standby line with ease. So here's the one thing, though, that happens when you take a ride and you give it a virtual queue. So you've got your standby line, you have your people coming in for Lightning Lane, and then you have all of these people that are in line, but they're not in line. So they're actually somewhere else. Well, where are they? They're probably in line for something else. So your standby line then has to wait for all the people in the Lightning Lane cutting in front of them. It slows them down. And depending upon the ride, it can be anywhere from 50 to 90% of the ride capacity is going to Lightning Lane. So your standby line for that ride is killed. Then you've got all of those people that are in line. Okay, it's got a 2-hour line, but I'm not in that 2-hour line. That's 2 hours that I'm in line for other things, which means I'm essentially in two places at once, taking up twice as much space in lines. So it does affect the lines for those other rides because you're in line for them while you're also in line for the other, and it then makes their lines longer. When I used to work at Disney, you mentioned Figment. Figment was never more than a 10-minute wait. Never, ever. The last couple times we've been there, Figment had, there was, what was it, Craig? 30 minutes, 45 minutes? Pirates of the Caribbean is another example of a ride whose line has been killed by this. Again, when I worked there, I took my kids on Christmas Eve. Park closes at 11 a.m. because it's hit capacity, but they were silly enough to let cast members in on that day. So I took my kids on Christmas Eve. There's no room for anything. It's a 20-minute wait to get into the bathroom. Pirates of the Caribbean had a 15-minute wait, 15, 20 minutes. Think about that. When's the last time you were at Magic Kingdom and Pirates of the Caribbean had a wait under 30 minutes? And on the busiest day of the year, 20 minutes, because there was no fast pass killing the line. So it does absolutely affect those because people are in more than one place at once. Again, check out that Defunctland video. Let's see here. Okay, will you be able to get a Lightning Lane for one top tier attraction again, or just one? So what you actually end up with is you end up with three different categories. Three. I'm doing like on the train. I only got 3 rules for you. So you end up with 3 different categories. You've got the top tier attractions, which you can book 1 in advance. You have the second tier attractions, which you can book 2, or you can book 3 of those if you don't book top tier. But then you also have the pay extra rides. So Rise of the Resistance, for example, is not a top tier or a second tier. It's an extra tier. Tron is the extra tier. So you can book a top tier, 2 lower tiers, and the extra. So you can actually have 4. But that's because you're paying extra for this extra one as opposed to the regular Lightning Lane system. They're completely separate purchases. So, Craig, just like that you have to already be in the park to get them at Disneyland. That was one thing. Yes, it did make it harder if you had part of your group that was going to show up a little bit later. I did like Disney World. Hey, you don't have to be in the park, but you have to be kind of reserved at the park for that day. I did like Disney World better for that. So, let's see here. Okay, and then Kayla, with the old Fast Pass Plus system, it waited until the week before, and then you got stuck with dumb times for attractions that didn't need them, and because all the good stuff was gone. That's the other thing that's going to happen is, again, all the good stuff is going to be gone ahead of time. Yeah. Yeah. It convolutes the system more. I am one of those. Take all of this planning ahead of time. Take all of this booking stuff. Throw it in the trash. Let's go back to regular standby lines. Have something like Universal where a limited number of people can pay a chunk extra and skip the lines that they want to when they want to. But otherwise, if you go back to my video on Mickey's Not So Scary from several years ago, and how Space Mountain had this humongously long line, you couldn't see the end of it until Mickey's Not So Scary started. Once the Fast Pass ended, the line got longer as in it came out of the building, but the time for the wait shrunk massively because Fast Pass wasn't killing it. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that the average number of rides and attractions that guests do now at Disney is less than it's ever been, and that's a major reason. So, let me see here. Now, so this is where if I go back to Disney, I'll just do the standard lines to get Lightning Lane. The one problem with the system is if you want to ride stuff, you almost have to get it because otherwise the wait times are just way too long for everything. So you're kind of stuck having to get it and having to participate in it because it's the only way to get on that many rides. If you don't get it, you're not going to get on very much. So, lots of people upset with DSA changes. I actually did a whole video about that a little while ago. I need to follow that up at some point. Talk to some people who've been affected by it. Can you post a link to that history video? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, drop it into chat, and that way it'll save me from looking it up. So, Figment doesn't get more than 30 minutes now. I would have to disagree, Real Geeks. And Craig can back me up on this. We were there one time. I know it was at least 45 minutes. It definitely, it's much, like I say, it was never more than 5 to 10 before. So I don't think it's been less than 20 when we've been there. So, let's see here. Why are there only 2 theme parks as landmarks? Well, so it depends upon how they're filed as landmarks. There's the national landmark, which Rye Playland and Kennywood is, but there are others that are also local landmarks. Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, the Giant Dipper, and the Loop Carousel are both registered as historical landmarks. I don't know if the whole boardwalk is or not. There's separate parts of it that are. There are definitely other things throughout that are, but part of it is because it is a process to get it labeled as such. And then when you become a national landmark, there's things that you can't do to adjust or fix or change it. So it's not always a good thing. Let me see here. Let's see. Oh, the dream days of no 2-hour lines. I miss the days when we could go into the park and when I was working there, you could still do every single ride in the park. It took a little bit of planning and know-how, but it could be done. Not anymore. Yeah. So, Original Imagination did get longer lines back in the first few years of Epcot. I never got to see that one, though. But this is one thing I wish I could do. You can't do at Disney. You can with other parks. I can't look up current wait times. I would love to know. You know what? Let me just see here. Oh, well, you know what? It's 10 o'clock there, so there's probably... Yeah, there's no waits for anything at this point, except for Remy, which is 50 minutes. And Guardians of the Galaxy. So, Frozen has a 20-minute wait. Let me see. I wish I'd looked it up earlier. I could have seen what the wait times were. Yeah. Yeah, same at Disneyland. Used to be able to do almost everything I wanted. There's just so much in Disneyland. Yeah. It's definitely a 2-day park at this point. Why isn't Lake Compounce a landmark? Lake Compounce doesn't want to be a landmark. That's basically what it is. It takes money. It takes investment. And Lake Compounce is barely surviving. So it's investment that they don't want to make. That's basically what it comes down to. Um, like Six Flags Over Georgia, Ace says the wooden coaster is a landmark. The carousel is a national landmark. Um, I think the carousels, it's either a state or a national. I don't remember. Now, Ace American Coaster Enthusiast has posted several coasters as American Coaster Classics. And they can mark it as a landmark. That's just basically, it's a private club that says, hey, this is special. Unfortunately, there is a couple of those that have since been torn down because it wasn't an official national landmark. But they're cool coasters. I wish it meant more. I really do. So, but yeah, I think that covers most of the Disney stuff and Lightning Lane. Like I said, I would love to see all of this stuff just go poof. Do I think they ever add Peter Pan to Lightning Lane? Oh, yeah, it's on it. Peter Pan's been on Lightning Lane and Fast Pass since the very beginning. And Peter Pan is tier 1. So, let's see. Idlewild is losing his classic charm. Okay. Judy, thank you, Judy, for clarifying. Lake Compounds is owned by the same group that owns Kennywood. Interesting group because Palace Entertainment, I believe, Kennywood used to be its own company, and it has since been taken over by this group that now owns several parks. So Lake Compounds, Idlewild. There's another one in there if I remember right. And yeah, it's there's just been a number of other little issues there too. So yes, it's Palace Entertainment. Thank you very much. So, and I mean, I loved our visit to Idlewild. I have not been to Lake Compound, so I can't talk about that one. And love my visits to Kennywood, but yeah, it's definitely different. Okay, so I have a couple pieces of mail I want to catch. First one is from Ramsey in Little Rock. Let me see what we got. Looks like a letter. Oh, I got to show my Father's Day gift too. Let's see. Dear SirWillow, this is Ramsey from Arkansas. Recently went to Disney World to celebrate my 23rd birthday, and I had a wonderful time. My favorite memory there was at Hollywood Studios, where I gave Sorcerer Mickey a painting of himself, and he loved it. He smothered me with hugs and kisses for 6 minutes straight, and even followed me outside to hug me some more. It was truly a special moment. Anyways, I hope you're doing well and have a great day. Sincerely, Ramsey. I did not plan this, okay? I just want to be clear. So he's got this amazing picture of him holding the picture. I really did not plan the shirt. I had no idea. But if you remember, I told you, if you bring gifts, they are going to love them. I guarantee you, Mickey has that at home on the wall. Yeah. So that is very cool. Thank you, Ramsey. That's just an awesome coincidence. So, let's see. Parque Reunidos is the one that owns Kennywood. Headquarters are in Spain. Yep. So, okay, yes. And then American headquarters. Trying to remember. Okay, so now I'm going to have to look this up. Palace Entertainment is Merlin, I believe, actually. Let me see. Okay, they are the same company. So Palace Entertainment and Parque Reunidos, I should be able to say that properly. Shame on me. They are the same company. So that kind of explains that. Parque Reunidos is the Spanish name because they are headquartered in Madrid. And then in the U.S., they're known as Palace. And yeah, so it's not Merlin. Let's see here. And yeah, Idlewild removed in the last few years 7 rides. That hurts. So, yeah, and Judy brings up the one difference is Kennywood got spoiled all those years of having his family owned. Fun to work there, be friends with those people. Silver Dollar City is the same thing. The Herschens owned the park, opened the park. It was family owned and operated. And then when it starts expanding, especially when corporate buys in and you get these other parks, and it loses something. And it definitely becomes more corporate minded, budget minded, and okay, this ride is not getting us a return on our money, so let's remove it, and it definitely makes it different. Uh, yeah, it's hard because we can look at stuff at Silver Dollar City that was there when the Hershans had put in, and you can just see the difference. So, so I was going to show off my Father's Day gift. My daughter got this for me. We were actually out of Silver Dollar City, the two of us, and I saw this and went, ugh, and then I walked away because I knew I had to walk away. So she got this for me for Father's Day. If you know my conductor uniform, my vest is hanging back there with my old pocket watch. It's a generic train one. They had this one. So let me see if I can get it in focus. There you go. It actually has the Silver Dollar City logo on it. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, just an amazing little deal with the pocket watch. I was like, I got to have that. So I actually have not taken it off the package yet. I need to do that and get it wound. But yeah, that was really cool. So, Craig, thank you so much. It's okay. You know, Craig, you spoil me. You spoil me way too much sometimes. So I appreciate that. But yeah, don't feel like you got to get something to me every time. Goodness, Craig takes me to Disney and to New York and all sorts of other stuff. And yeah, I've been spoiled. I really have. So, have I ever dug into the history of Freedom Land? I actually have not. I know there's some other people that have done some great stuff on Freedom Land. Stuff like that, if it's not something that I have personal experience with, I generally don't because I don't feel like I can do it justice. And there's other people that can do better. Eldridge Park is probably the one time I really wanted to jump in and do something because they spoiled the stuffing out of us. And I was like, I got to do something nice for them. And then it took me much longer than I thought it would. So, yeah, I've got a few things like that. I do have a history of PhotoPass that I did. That's actually one of my favorite videos that I've ever done because I thought it came off great. So I have a few like that, but they're ones I have an intimate connection to. Have I ever gone parasailing? Nope. Love to. I'd love to go skydiving at some point too. But Judy, a new book on Idlewild came out. Ooh. I'm trying to remember if I've got the book on the Idlewild book. I need to look at my books and put up an inventory. That really has me wondering. Mark, did you ever replace the bag of rocks for the dog? I don't know if y'all saw my short on. So our dog always has her toys. She loves rocks. Rocks are some of her favorite toys. So she will pick up a rock and carry it around and toss it in the air and play with it and loves her rocks. Well, she found a bag of charcoal briquettes outside, ripped it open and went, rocks! And just loved all of her new rocks. Till my wife took it away. My wife was mean. So, no, she does have other toys. And we're constantly getting her in because she rips them up. So, let's see here. Okay. So, did a video of the haunted history of Six Flags Over Georgia. Fun video. Team members at park have crazy stories to tell. I actually, way back when I first started, and then I realized this probably wasn't a good idea. I had gone to Six Flags St. Louis. Yeah. And I was asking employees there to tell some of their stories and stuff. And one told this really great story. And then I realized, I'm asking these people on the clock to tell stories about working at this place without permission from PR. I might get them into trouble. And so I quit doing that because I really didn't want somebody to get in trouble for doing it. But so let's see. And Biggest Bird, I see your comment there. There's just not much I can add to it, so that's why I'm not doing anything. So, okay, so I do have a box I've had sitting here for a couple weeks from Lilith Colbridge from Texas. She did tell me there's something interesting in here, and I don't know what it is. So, and some sort of story, and I was hoping to see her on. I have not seen her on. So we're going to find out what this is and see if I can figure out what the story is, and what we've got. And oh my. Okay, so I'm guessing that this is, oh, so 3D printed. This is really cool. There you go. The Carousel of Progress logo. That is very cool. Oh, hey, good. She's on. Yay. So I'm happy to see that you're on. That is amazing, Lilith. That is okay. That's definitely going on my shelf where it can be seen. That cool. That really is. But she's got several things in here. Oh my. Okay, I'm loving what I'm seeing in the box here. This is fantastic. So the Horizon sign. Oh my. I'd say that's a great one for some history there. And the one of the Epcot logos. That is a classic Epcot logo right there. This is so cool. I have to get a little stand for that one to be able to hold up. Or, oh, you know what? I could probably put it like a little pin or something. Those are amazing. There's some more. I can't wait to show you all this stuff. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness. This is like all the stuff that I see at the parks. I'm like, oh, if only I could take it home. Another Epcot logo. Oh. These are so cool. Did you get all the Epcot logos? There's actually a series of pins that they came out with that shows all the Epcot logos. And I think she's got them all. How cool is this? Wow. Okay, so we're not just Disney. How about Six Flags? I just need to do my Mr. Six, dun, 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 dun. Okay, I won't do that, Craig. Craig will go, no. These are absolutely, oh, okay. And I just realized it's not just Six Flags, it's SirWillow. Oh my goodness. Okay. So would you like the keys to the kingdom? So we've got, let's see if I can hold these up here. So if you look, they've got all the different symbols. So there's the cast member name tag. And star. These are so cool. Landed on the bubble wrap. Amber, you got to see some of this stuff. How about logos?
Ooh.
So, she's got the Horizons, and then
Are those 3D printed?
Yep.
That's neat.
Yeah, this is okay. And then these are so cool. How do you get the colors? So you've got these. Look at all the colors in this one.
You get the colors by telling it to use a different color of plastic as it goes up.
Don't ruin my enjoyment.
I'm not.
Get all technical.
I like looking into the ways things do things when they're crafted. I'm an artist.
Yeah, this is. So those got little stands on them. There's more in here. Hello, pupper. Don't bump my stuff. And how about a SirWillow Mickey head? These are amazing. They really are. Look at that one.
That's cool.
That is awesome. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put all these things on display.
You might have to put like another shelf.
Yeah, something. Well, it's magic.
Too bad you can't hang a shelf on the vent.
I'm gonna have to redo some of that very simply. And then a yellow one. These are just fantastic. They got one more in.
Lulu thinks they're toys.
Yeah, we're keeping them away from you, Pupper. They are not
Come
chew
on,
toys
Lulu.
for you.
You can't take any of it. Come here. Lulu.
One more. These are so cool. So yes, those are absolutely. Those are fantastic. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it up there. I might actually have a way to do it. I definitely want to get that up. Yeah, that is just. Thank you, Lilith. That is an amazing package. Absolutely amazing. So thank you. That's so many cool little deals in there. So, yeah, honestly, that's one of the neater packages I've had. So it's your pleasure. No, my pleasure. You're the one who blessed me. So thank you so much. Yeah, if you want to know how to print off cool stuff, ask Lil. We're going to need a bigger boat. No, I mean, yeah. And it's funny because we moved here, and I had gone from this little room to I've got stuff all over it, and I still don't have enough room. But oh goodness, I'm trying to figure out if I can put a shelf across that and put them up. I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm definitely. Yeah, look, I just did a video on what's that in the background, and now I'm gonna have to redo my background. So, thank you so much. Those are just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Wow. So, yeah, that just took my breath away. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Yeah, you guys got to briefly see the dog. Let's see. Yeah, everybody else is kind of doing the same thing. It's like, wow. Yeah. So thank you. Let's see here. Author of the book, guessing the book on Idlewild, is doing one on lost theme parks around Pennsylvania too. Not sure when the book is coming out. Hang on just a second. Let me see here. I gotta look at the books. Because I thought I had gotten. Let's see, Kenny. Disney. I don't see it. Okay. So I was trying to see if I had the Idlewild one. I don't see it. Of course, I've got the Kennywood one, which had been on my shelf for quite a while. I have the Knoebels one. That is an amazing book with a little addendum as well. But and I got several Disney ones. I do have some others. I don't have the Idlewild one. So I'm going to have to look that up and probably add it to my wish list. Drew, did my package show up? I have not seen one yet. Now you're gonna make me wonder where it is. Let me see if I can find out where your package is. I do like this with informed delivery with the post office, is you can actually look up stuff. And what's it doing? It's being weird. Okay. Come on now. Show my right stuff so I can see what mail is coming. Sent it over a week ago. Let me see. I am not seeing it here, Drew. I got the one from Judy a few days ago. I'm trying to see if I see one from North Dakota. I don't see one in my listing, Drew. Um, Give me a call afterwards. Let me see if we can figure out what happened to it and where it is, because that has me concerned. I don't even see it in the mailing profile, and I should. So I'm not sure. Let's see. If it showed up, it was for Sight and Sound. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to see if we can find out what happened to it. Okay, so I'm kind of looking now on. Um, let's see. So there's a couple books about Idlewild. There's also a couple things that are definitely not about the park. Okay, here we go. So I am guessing that we're looking at. Let's see. Probably that book right there. That's actually a pretty decent price. I actually have a smidge of extra money at the moment. I might just, yeah. So there we go. There was also, is this? Nope, that's not what we want. Okay, so I'm guessing that this would be it then. Yeah, there you go. Isle Wild books on Amazon. It's under 20. So there we go. Yep. So now I got something else to buy for the collection. But I love stuff like that. So, yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we need to track down Drew's package. Anything else? I mean, I'm approaching 8:30. I'm spoiled with the one package. But definitely got a couple minutes here for questions about pretty much anything. So do you have anything you want to know? It's going to be kind of weird. We actually do not have a big trip planned this summer for the first time in years, and we're okay with that. It's like we get to rest a little bit. So, yeah, Bob Weiss is putting out a new book for D23 this year. I've heard about that. I want to definitely look it up. In fact, I need to get back together with David Koenig too, because we had talked about doing a video interview and we weren't able to get together dates, and then it's kind of so I need to contact him again too. If you don't know who David Koenig is, he is the author of Mouse Tales, More Mouse Tales, The State versus Disney, and several other backstage books about Disney, and just great stuff. He was the very first one that I ever saw something about what it's like to work at Disney and some of the backstage secrets that at the time when he published Mouse Tales, Disney was very not happy that it came out because it was all these secrets. It's now they're a lot more open about it, but at the time it was a big deal. So, have you seen the Homestead Pickers recently? Not in person. I've been out there 3 times and just not for a long period of time. And so I really do want to catch them live. But they do have, so Danny retired, and they do have another young lady named Emily, and she is fantastic. She's amazing. I've met her before. Very talented, very sweet, and just fits right in. So she's great. Let's see. Did you hear about the merge between Six Flags and Cedar Fair has been approved? Yep. Did not surprise me at all. Figured that was coming. It's really not going to affect anything that we see at the parks until next year, because this year's already kind of in the middle of operations. But you will definitely see some changes starting to happen next year. So, David Koenig's phenomenal. Knows the stuff. Absolutely. Am I still looking to talk about what's like working Universal? Yes. Absolutely. Drop me an email. If you have worked at a park, or had some sort of interesting experience, please drop me an email, SirWillow@gmail.com, and I would absolutely love to get together with you and talk about stuff like that. So, I think that would be fantastic. So definitely, please get a hold of me, contact me, and I'd love to do that. So SirWillow@gmail.com. So, Craig, checking your notes, didn't see a wait time for Figment this February. Wow, Craig, you didn't. I want to say that we actually did it this time because it was the first time that I had been with you that it didn't have a ridiculously long wait, but it did for quite a while. So, but yeah, definitely have to check that out. Let's see here. Um, Reach out on Instagram. We were talking. Uh, you can. I'll probably still bounce you back to email because I forget about Instagram sometimes, and I'm sitting there going, "Where did I talk to that person? Where was it? What was it on Patreon or And so, um, one of the things I have done is I've cut back a little bit on some of the social media stuff, uh, such as Twitter and things, just because it took so much time and all the drama involved with those sites just was not doing me brain good. So I've cut back on several of them. But yeah, definitely drop me a note. Let's see here. Uh, Already, yeah, there we go. Already seeing a major change. Cedar Fair Parks install new fast lane scanners where you scan your wristband for boarding. I think some of that, see, things like that, though, were already in the works before the season um, because you can't have a merge and then immediately have that. That takes months, sometimes even years of planning to be able to get all of that kind of stuff in place. So these are things that Cedar Fair had already planned. It's going to be it's going to take some time for them to get things integrated to the point where they can do stuff as a combined company. So, have I decided on a name for the channel when we go to Israel? Not yet. I definitely need to come up with something. So, if you got ideas, send them to me. So, um, cutting back is great. Highly recommended. Makes you spend more time outside. It's too hot to go outside right now. 98 degrees. I don't have to go out in that heat no more. I'm not going to. No, I'm a cold weather guy. I'd much rather be in the cold, but no, I'm just so busy anyways. Uh, Between my job, okay, my job, or my other job, uh, between working at the escape room, um, doing the YouTube stuff. So escape room's taking around 40 hours a week right now. The YouTube stuff takes up about 15 to 20. One of the reasons you've seen a few less videos is because escape room's been working me harder. And then I'm on the road a lot of Sundays, talking at different churches and things like that, and some Wednesdays as well. And then there's time to book that. So I'm doing average week 60 to 70 hours of work a week. It's a lot of work. I'm getting too old for this. It's kind of funny. Somebody says, you get to Israel, you're going to be working hard. I'm like, dude, I'm already working hard. It can't be any more than this. So, yeah, the older you get, the more sensitive you are to summer heat. Yep, definitely me. Absolutely. So, is this a themed escape room you're working at? No costumes or anything. If you ever do an escape room, the rooms are always themed, but we don't have any actors or anything at all like that. The room itself is the theme. So, nope, nothing like that. I interact, and greet them. Hey, how you doing? Welcome here. Come watch this video. Get in there. And then when they're done, it's, hey, you did great. You really failed miserably. Get out. Okay, not quite like that, but that's basically what I do. And then I sit there and watch them on security cameras and help them out. So it's a fun job. So, yeah, we have so many escape rooms in Orlando. When this one I'm working at started, they opened up fairly early on. They were actually ranked number 5 in the nation by USA Today at one point. But the competition's come up so much. Unlike axe throwing and a couple of these other things that were fads, escape rooms aren't going anywhere. They're just going to continue getting better. So, yeah, neat stuff. It's a fun job. I enjoy it. But yeah, when you occasionally get the break, because and there's definitely a part of me that's kind of like, I'm working a lot. But yeah, it's just some really neat stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see where all they go in the next several years. I think you're starting to see some of the stuff interact between theme parks and escape rooms. If you go to a decent escape room, it's highly themed. And you're starting to see some of that in the parks where the theming levels are coming up between Potter and Galaxy's Edge and now Nintendo World and stuff. And it's just all of it. The whole idea of immersion is really becoming more and more important. So it's really kind of neat. You did great. You failed miserably. My brain trying to comment on my students. I have been a teacher. I get it. You guys did awesome. I've never seen a class fail so spectacularly before. Yep. Yeah. So, okay. So, okay. Coaster fans gonna let me bring up something here. I could never do an escape room. I have terrible anxiety about feeling trapped. Okay. So, the whole idea of an escape room being dark and you're trapped in there and you have to get out and the doors are locked, take that whole idea and throw it in the garbage can. That's not what they are. They're usually very well lit. The doors are not locked. They're telling a story. So one of ours that we have, it's called Journey Through Alex Hollow. And you are basically exploring through a hobbit home and going through several different rooms and discovering things there about how what happened there affects the fate of the world. We've got one where you're breaking into a house to escape a tornado. We have one that takes place at a hotel, and you were solving a whodunit mystery and going through all the different rooms of the hotel to find pieces of the mystery. Another one is in an abandoned shopping center, and you're part of a resistance cell and you've been poisoned. You've got to find the antidote to your poison. So the old classic idea of you're kidnapped and locked up in a dark place and you're going to die, that really has become passé. You'll find something like that, but it's not the common escape room anymore. They're all kid friendly. All of ours are wheelchair friendly. So yeah, you can find places like that if you want it, but most of them today aren't even remotely close to what that is anymore. So, Joel, Disney should have updated Disney Quest of escape rooms. I agree. That would have been a fantastic addition in there. Let's see. And let's see. Don't know much about escape rooms. Just heard about it from an episode of Big Bang Theory. Look it up. They're not what a lot of people think of. That stereotype. They're definitely not. They're not. Yeah. I think the escape room movies, which are not based on escape rooms now, it's really not what a lot of people think of. So, Mark, any predictions on what SCC will do? I think I actually did a video not too long ago, but I will close with this. When I worked at Silver Dollar City and the few years either side of that, Dollywood more than doubled in size. Silver Dollar City has more land than Dollywood. Silver Dollar City has lots more potential. Expect Silver Dollar City to get the Dollywood treatment. I fully expect a resort to be coming with its own private entrance. I expect huge expansion. They have doubled the amount of parking for a reason. They're ready to go with this. They have said that they're going to be doing something with the Pumpkin Plaza area and improvements there, but they're not going to announce it yet. They're going to make that a permanent fixture and do it up nice versus the parking lot look that it has right now. Expect some huge changes and announcements. Some of it's going to take a while for them to announce, but I'd say in the next 10 years, you're going to see a massively different Silver Dollar City. Still a lot of the same charm and stuff, but there's going to be so much more. So hold tight. It's going to be really, really cool. So, and Weaponized Toast arrived just in time for us to be able to sign out. So, happy to have you here, Weaponized Toast. It's good to return. I am good, and unfortunately, it's near the end of the time. So, but thank you so much for being here, everybody. Absolutely, I'm so grateful for everybody showing up and tuning in. It's really, really cool. All that stuff. So I appreciate it. And like I said, Lilith, I am totally blessed. I mean, these are just cool. So thank you again, everybody, so much. He's at Lagoon right now. Okay, I am jealous. I keep trying to get to Lagoon and haven't done it yet. Maybe someday. But thank you guys so much for being here, tuning in, for the gifts, for thinking of me. I said I'm blessed. I'm spoiled. and I appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Again, if you got input, ideas, stuff, please send it to me. I'd love to hear from you. SirWillow at Gmail. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Good night.